I don't think so.
This girl waking up early in the morning. She stretches a little, her eyes half open, when suddenly, she hears a strange sound echoing inside her house. The noise isn't something she recognizes, it's soft but unsettling, like footsteps or whispers coming from the hallway. She looks toward her open window, and that's when she realizes something terrifying. Someone has broken into her house. An unknown person has entered quietly, and the thought sends chills down her spine. Shocked and scared, Laura slowly sits down, her hands shaking. Tears begin to roll down her cheeks as fear takes over. But before she can collect herself, she hears the footsteps getting closer. The intruder begins to approach her slowly. Her breathing gets heavy. Her heart races. Laura knows that if she doesn't act now, her life could be in danger. In that moment, she decides to do one brave thing to save herself. Welcome back to Movie Unlimited. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. The movie begins by introducing Martin Bergin, a wealthy and successful businessman living in Colorado, USA. He's been in the business world for over 25 years, earning a reputation for being sharp, intelligent, and powerful. People respect him for his achievements, and on the surface, he seems to have everything: money, fame, and success. Years ago, Martin met a young woman named Laura, a beautiful 23-year-old with a kind heart and a gentle smile. The two quickly fell in love. Their chemistry was instant, and within just 6 months, they decided to get married. They organized a big, beautiful wedding ceremony. Everyone admired the couple, they looked perfect together. But soon, things began to change. Martin wasn't the type of man who liked socializing or being close to other communities. He preferred isolation, peace, silence, and control. So he convinced Laura to move away from everyone and live with him in a large house by a quiet lake, far from the city. At first, Laura didn't mind. The place was breathtaking. The calm water, the cool breeze, and the peaceful sound of nature made her fall in love with the house immediately. She thought she had found her dream home, and her dream husband. The couple began their new life there, and time passed quickly. 6 months later, Laura was settling into her daily routine. She spent her mornings cleaning, watering the garden, and planting beautiful flowers near the front door. Her husband, Martin, was usually out working. But one day, as she worked outside, someone was watching her from a distance. The movie shows us a man named John, who happened to be one of Martin's old friends. He lived a bit farther away but was still one of the few neighbors nearby. John couldn't help but be amazed by Laura's beauty. He waited for Martin to return home that evening, then visited him for a short talk. During their conversation, John casually mentioned that he saw Laura earlier and joked about how lucky Martin was to have such a beautiful wife. But Martin didn't take it as a joke. His face immediately darkened with anger. He couldn't stand the idea of another man even noticing his wife. After John left, Martin stormed into the house, furious. He confronted Laura, shouting at her and asking why she went outside and showed herself to others. He accused her of trying to get attention, something she never even thought of. Laura was completely shocked. Then, without warning, Martin slapped her across the face and warned her never to leave the house again. From that day on, everything changed. Laura began to see a different side of her husband, a dark, terrifying side. Martin's behavior grew worse every day. He became controlling, aggressive, and violent. Even small things, like objects not being in their usual place, made him furious. He yelled, threatened, and punished her for the smallest mistakes. Laura realized she had married a monster. The man she once loved was now her captor. She regretted marrying him so quickly, without truly knowing who he was. Their home by the lake was beautiful, but it felt like a prison. The house was surrounded by water, and there was no easy way to escape. Laura often stood by the window, looking at the lake, wondering if she would ever be free again. She tried to stay strong, but the constant fear and pain became too much. One day, overwhelmed and hopeless, she broke down in tears. When Martin saw her crying, he suddenly changed his tone. Pretending to be kind, he told her that he felt bad for what he did. He apologized and said he wanted to make it up to her. He suggested that they go out together to spend time and clear their minds. Laura agreed, even though deep down, she no longer trusted him. She didn't see Martin as her husband anymore, she saw him as a dangerous man she needed to escape from. To her, walking beside him now felt like walking beside a monster. Martin took her out for a boat ride on the lake. Laura was nervous because she had told him many times before that she couldn't swim. For a while, everything seemed calm. But then, suddenly, a storm appeared out of nowhere. The wind roared, the waves grew stronger, and the boat started rocking dangerously. As the boat tilted from side to side, Laura lost her balance. In a flash, she fell into the dark, cold water below. It happened so fast that no one noticed at first. Minutes passed before they realized Laura was missing. They shouted her name and searched frantically, but she was nowhere to be found. Martin was devastated. He blamed himself for not listening to her. He regretted taking her out on the lake. The authorities searched for her for days, but Laura's body was never found. Eventually, everyone assumed she had drowned. A funeral was held in her memory. Her family, friends, and even Martin attended, all grieving her tragic death. Martin stood there quietly, his face filled with guilt and sadness. Losing Laura shattered him. Living in that empty house alone only deepened his anger and loneliness. But then, the movie reveals a shocking twist. Laura was still alive. She had faked her death to escape Martin's abuse. It was the only way she could be free. That night, after the storm, she quietly returned to the house, grabbed her hidden money, packed her belongings, and flushed her wedding ring down the toilet, a symbol that her old life was over. She looked around one last time, took a deep breath, and left. On the bus to a faraway town, she sat beside an older woman who noticed her tears. The woman gently asked if something was wrong. Laura finally opened up about everything, her pain, her marriage, and the life she left behind. She told the woman that she had separated from her husband and was going to start a new life. The woman smiled warmly, happy that Laura was finally free. That evening, the bus reached its destination. Laura rented a small house using her savings and began her new chapter. It felt like being released from prison, a fresh start, full of hope and fear at the same time. She met her new neighbors and introduced herself to them. Among them was a kind, handsome man named Danny, who was around her age. They quickly became friends. Time passed, and Laura began to feel happy again. She slowly forgot about Martin and started dreaming about a new future, maybe even with Danny. But while Laura was rebuilding her life, Martin's world was falling apart. He couldn't stop thinking about her. Every corner of the house reminded him of her. And then one day, while using the bathroom, he noticed something lying inside the toilet. It was Laura's wedding ring. He stares at it in disbelief, his mind racing. He remembers it clearly. She was wearing this exact ring on her finger the day she fell from the boat. But if the ring is here, then how could that be possible? Confused and trembling, Martin sits down, trying to make sense of it. Then suddenly, realization hits him like lightning. The truth becomes clear. Laura is alive. She faked her death. She planned everything. And now, Martin's confusion turns into burning rage. His face twists with fury as he clenches his fists. He promises himself one thing: he will find her. No matter where she hides, no matter how far she runs, he will track her down and make her pay. From that moment on, Martin begins his dark mission to hunt her. Meanwhile, far away, Laura's new life seems peaceful. She spends beautiful evenings with Danny, the kind and charming man she met in her new city. Together, they go out almost every night, dancing, laughing, and enjoying dinner at cozy little restaurants before returning home together. Danny is a music teacher, and he's passionate about his art. He takes Laura to his music studio, plays the piano, and sings just for her. Sometimes he even teaches her to sing along. They laugh together, share stories, and for the first time in a long while, Laura feels truly happy. Danny has fallen deeply in love with her. But Laura never tells him about her past. She keeps her dark memories locked deep inside, afraid that speaking about them might make them real again. In the same city, Laura's mother lives in a care home, a quiet place for elderly women who need assistance. Her mother is blind, but her heart is full of love. After a few days, Laura finally gathers the courage to visit her. When she arrives, she sits beside her mother, holding her hand tightly. Her voice shakes as she opens up about everything: how Martin had tortured her, controlled her, and made her life a nightmare. She tells her mother that she escaped, that she's finally free, and that she has met someone new, a good man named Danny. Her mother listens quietly, tears forming in her blind eyes. Though she cannot see her daughter, she smiles with relief. She tells Laura that she's proud of her, that she deserves happiness, and she blesses her with all her heart. Laura hugs her mother tightly and leaves the care home with a small smile on her face, finally feeling at peace. But her peace doesn't last long. That same day, Martin arrives at the exact same elderly care institution. His eyes are cold and determined. He walks through the doors pretending to be calm, asking politely if he can visit one of the residents, Laura's mother. When he enters her room, he smiles falsely and introduces himself as one of Laura's friends. He sits beside her and starts talking sweetly, trying to gain her trust. He tells her that he misses Laura dearly and asks gently, "Do you know where she's staying these days?" Her mother, unaware of his true identity, replies honestly. She tells him that Laura is no longer with her husband, that she's moved on, met another man, and started a new life. Hearing this, Martin's fake smile disappears. His eyes darken with anger. He thanks her coldly and leaves without another word. The moment he steps outside, his fury boils over. He now knows the truth: Laura didn't just run away. She replaced him. She's living happily with another man. He swears he won't let her escape again. Over the next few days, Martin hires private investigators to track Laura down. They search across the city, watching, asking questions, following every clue. Finally, one evening, Martin gets the call he's been waiting for. The men tell him they've found her. They give him the address. Without hesitation, he drives there. From a distance, he watches Laura and Danny together, walking hand in hand, smiling, sharing a kiss. The sight sends shockwaves through him. His blood boils with jealousy and rage. How dare she, he whispers to himself. How dare she move on, after everything? His anger grows even more when he remembers that she faked her own death. To him, it's not just betrayal, it's humiliation. His face turns cold and expressionless as he makes up his mind. He loads a gun, slips it into his coat, and begins his plan. He'll wait until Danny leaves the house. Then he'll make Laura pay. That night, when Laura is alone, the house is quiet, unaware that danger is closing in. Outside, Martin moves silently in the darkness. He breaks into the house through an open window, just like a shadow. A soft noise wakes Laura, thinking it might be Danny. She calls his name, but there's no reply. Confused, she gets up, opens her bedroom door, and looks around. The house is still. But then she notices the open window, the curtain swaying in the night breeze. Her heart stops. Someone's inside. Fear rushes through her veins. She knows instantly who it is. Martin. No one else would do this. Panicking, she looks around for her phone. She plans to call the police and finally get him arrested. But before she can even move, she feels something cold against the back of her head. It's the barrel of a gun. Martin's voice whispers behind her, calm but terrifying, "If you move, I'll pull the trigger." Laura freezes. He tells her that he's already seen her with Danny, and that after killing her, he'll kill him too. Tears fill her eyes as she begs him not to hurt Danny. He doesn't know anything, she pleads. "Please, just leave him out of this. Do whatever you want to me." But Martin doesn't care. His eyes are filled with hate. Then suddenly, Laura's loud voice draws attention. Danny, who lives next door, hears her through the wall. Realizing something is wrong, he rushes to her house. Without thinking, he kicks the door open and runs inside. Martin turns toward him and strikes him with a powerful blow. Danny collapses to the floor, unconscious. With a sinister grin, Martin points the gun at Laura again. "You've made things easier," he says coldly. "Now I can kill you both right here." Laura, trembling but smart, waits for her moment. Then, as he takes a step closer, she strikes, hitting him hard on a weak spot. Martin stumbles backward, dropping the gun. Without hesitation, Laura grabs the weapon. Her hands shake, but her aim is steady. She fires. The gunshot echoes through the house. Martin falls to the floor, defeated. Laura drops the gun and rushes to Danny's side. She hugs him tightly as he slowly wakes up. Crying, she explains everything, that Martin was her husband, that he abused her, and that she had faked her death to escape. Danny listens quietly, heartbroken for her pain but relieved that she's finally safe. They call the police immediately and tell them everything. When the officers arrive, they find Martin barely conscious. He's taken into custody and then sent to the hospital under police supervision. Days later, peace returns to Laura's life. She and Danny begin living together, happy and free from fear. The nightmare is finally over. The movie ends with the couple smiling, dreaming about their future, and thinking about having a child together, a new beginning, built on love, trust, and freedom. Dear viewers, this was the story of Sleeping with the Enemy, 1991, a powerful movie about courage, survival, and finding strength to escape darkness. Don't forget to join our family by subscribing to our channel and hitting the bell icon for more amazing movie stories. Until next time, stay safe, and stay tuned for our next recap.